With just about everything I do, it comes from working with materials and serendipity. So I was trained in ceramics. My degree was in ceramics, and my postgraduate degree in Japan was in ceramics. So I moved from 3D to 2D in Japan, and that transition was made using Japanese paper. And so that's the key to the way I work, because that's where I began. And the feature of Japanese paper, particularly for me, the most amazing thing is you can work on both sides, which gives you an ambiguity of surface, which I still find endlessly fascinating. So for the last, I don't know how many decades, I've been trying to find ways of working on linen, but using that same ambiguity of surface, which is how I started experimenting with muslin, because that again gives you a material you can work on both sides. Pictorial space in the East is very different from pictorial space in the West. So pictorial space in the West, with the sort of vanishing point that we're all familiar with, the viewer is sort of outside the picture. Whereas in the East, the viewer is invited into the picture, and you almost explore it with your peripheral vision. So that's what I hope people will feel able to do. I do treat them as objects. And I think that possibly is because I come from a 3D background. So the way they're constructed, and very often I paint, things go on the side of the canvas, which is why I don't frame them. And I'm very aware of the back as well. So I see them as 3D objects rather than a surface. The energy that you've got going on in the middle of the painting, depending on how it meets the edge, it can either be invigorated or dissipated. And so for me, the edge and the accuracy of them is really important. I think there is a correlation between the time it takes me to make the work and the time it takes people, or I hope it takes people, to find everything in it. I mean, at the moment, this is profoundly an unfashionable thing to be doing, because we're in very much a sort of fast world. It's a question of when the viewer is looking at where are their eyes focusing? Are they hitting a surface and bouncing back, or are they being drawn in through the layers to the beyond, which is what I hope happens. And there is an expression, the expression in Japanese, which sort of means your eyes sit, so that your eyes are looking, but you're not, as I said, you're not actively looking. The muscles of your eyes relax slightly, and it's that state, which is a sort of meditative state, which I'm hoping people can achieve. I mean, I often think in my head I'm creating a place to be, and I hope that will draw people in and give them a space and a place.